Hi, I'm Jeremy with Service One. Today we're going to talk about general maintenance of a humidifier and the basic operation. We'll start with the water line that goes to the humidifier. Down here is your solenoid to the humidifier, and connected to it is a copper line. That copper line will run back to a water valve on your water line to your house. Where that is can change from house to house, but it's important to know where that valve is. If you have any problems with the humidifier, you can always go back to that valve, shut it down, and hopefully stop any bad water flows, things like that. So it's good to know where that's at. The other thing is the air damper to the humidifier. On the ductwork there is a damper that will, depend on the house, will be marked sometimes winter and summer. If it is, we close it in the summertime to stop the air from going through the humidifier, because you don't need humidity in the summer. We're always trying to get rid of it. And in the wintertime we open it up to let the air flow through the humidifier. Inside the humidifier, there's different ways the humidifiers come apart. This one just has a thumb screw. We take the lid off. And inside we have, when we talked about the solenoid earlier, the solenoid is actuated. It's just an on-off valve by your humidistat. The solenoid lets the water into the humidifier. This is the pad for the humidifier. This is what needs changed every year. Inside you'll see a tube where the water runs to the top of the pad. In the top is the trough, and there's just holes where the water will run down the pad. And then the duct that we talked about earlier with the damper, that's what lets the hot air through, runs through this pad, picks up the water, evaporates it off the pad. That's why they call it an evaporation pad. And then goes into your return duct and then into your house. To change this pad, you have to pull the water line off, and then the pad is separate from the bracket. You have to pop the bracket apart, take the trough off, slide the pad out. That's what your hard water looks like. I'll grab another pad. This is the new pad. You can see the difference between the two. On the pad also, you'll see a painted stripe on one side. That's always the top of the pad. Now, the other thing with the pads that you'll notice is there's a white coating over the whole pad. That coating acts to separate that water, to spread it across the pad so it doesn't just run down in straight lines. That helps the efficiency of the humidifier. That's why you can't just clean these, because that coating wears off. So you have to replace the pad. Slide the new pad in. Flip it together and hook your water line back up and snap it back into the humidifier. Put your door back on. And that takes care of all the maintenance for the humidifier. If you see any excess inside there when you're taking the pad out, go ahead and you can vacuum that out, brush it out. And then also you'll want to pay attention to make sure water's coming out of the drain hose. You can look at the drain. The furnace does need to be running, and to test it you should probably turn your humidistat all the way up as high as it can go. Turn the furnace on, wait for about 5 minutes, see if water comes out the hose. If it does, you know the humidifier is working. Because another problem these can have is the water line going to the solenoid valve can plug up. There's just a tiny little pin orifice in there that if you have hard water can plug that up. That's where having the soft water helps that out. You don't have that problem as much. And then finally, the humidistat. We'll talk about that. The humidistat can be located in several areas. It could be part of your thermostat upstairs, it could be next to the thermostat, or it could be mounted on the ductwork like this one is. So locate your humidistat. And then the settings. Settings are a lot of times there's a chart on the Humidistat itself, so you can refer to that chart. You set your humidity level according to the outdoor temp. The colder it is, the lower you have to put the humidity, so that way you don't have any problems with water on the windows. Also, your attic can rain, essentially. You can get icicles up in the attic if there's too much humidity in the house. Once it hits that cold air, it condenses and turns back to water. So, got to keep a close eye to that. If you have any questions on this, give us a call at Service 1. But thanks for watching.